Unknown Brain, Marvin Devine, and we back.
Can't nobody tell me nothing. Made it through the wind and rain. I turn nothing into something. No more dealing with their assumptions. Cause I do what I gotta do and I know, can't nobody do it like me. All they do is judge me for who I might be. Maybe if they took some time to pick my mind to see that I'm cooler than lemons and iced tea. All I wanna do is live it up with the homies. Everybody really talking as if they know me. But I guess I gotta face it. I'm so tired of being faceless.
I don't wanna keep on wasting life. I'm drowning in my head, I'm losing the mind. And if you could know, yeah, if I could show you, I don't wanna keep on living this life so faceless.
So faceless.
I've got a premonition, I'm dreaming you and I. All my darkest fears are coming outside. We got a billion races, we got this melody. And you can trust me, baby, we got everything. Call me whenever you feel alone, babe. And when you need to cry, I'll be by your side. Call me whenever you need someone, babe. And when you need to escape from 1,000 fires, I'm gonna kiss you wherever you are. And I'm gonna miss you, I will never lie. Call me whenever you need someone, babe. We're running in the jungle of love. I got you on my mind. You were stuck in my head and I don't know why. We got a billion races, we got this melody. And you can trust me, baby, we got everything. Call me whenever you feel alone, babe. And when you need to cry, I'll be by your side. Call me whenever you need someone, babe. And when you need to escape from 1,000 fires, I'm gonna kiss you wherever you are. And I'm gonna miss you, I will never lie. Call me whenever you need someone, babe. We're running in the jungle of love.
I remember the days, always at the same place, the same people every day.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to TTML. We are here for Division 2 action tonight as we take in round 11 of the Championship. It is Season 2, as I say, as we take in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix from the Yas Marina circuit. My name is James Hay, going to be taking you through the stream, as always. And then joining me in the commentary box, of course, is my good friend, Mr. Michael Edwards. Mike, how are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Season finale is going to be a good one, and hopefully everyone out there puts on a great show for us to cap off what has been an absolutely fantastic season.
It really has been a fantastic season. I think we saw the crowning of a new blood here in TTML, of course, last week. Mashiro crowned champion. Pity that he gave Tom the ring around with that formation lap antics that he did with the donuts, but the less we say about that, the better. Looking at what happened last week, of course, in Mexico, it was a Renault 1-2. Gary beat Ryan in a really dramatic race. Plenty of penalties to talk about for that as well. Ace Noisy finishing in third. Well, what did that do to the standings, I hear you ask? Well, Mashiro has obviously wrapped up the championship. He's leading on 221 points. The important battle to focus on tonight is the battle for second. Seb not here on 172 points. Zwadema's in third on 169. Gary, I've been informed by my co-coms, is not here tonight as well on 154. And J. Cole in fifth on 143. That's the main battle to really talk about tonight. Even though we've got two drivers that are depleted out of the field, it's going to be fascinating to see. And then we've got another battle to focus on, Matt Tibos and Tiones, 6th and 7th on 127 and 125. Volokong and Ryan on an 8th, I should say, tied on 116 points. And Alonso in 10th on 107. Only 20 points separating between 6th and 10th position as well. Mike, going on to that battle for seconds, Wadema obviously 3 points behind Seb coming into tonight. Gary missing, Seb missing. Surely it's his P2.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the ball is 100% in Zwadema's court here. He doesn't need to push massively. Of course, there is something else that is also on the line, and that might be one thing that he would be trying to push for, and that is, of course, the constructors. But in terms of P2, he looks pretty solid for it right now.
Yeah, let's have a look at those constructors' standings as well while we're at it. McLaren have got to outscore Alfa Romeo basically by 14 points here tonight. That's simple maths right there, and we don't need Tom to do that either. Alfa Romeo in second on 307 points, and as I say, 41 points separating. Only need 14 points because there's 55 points basically on the line. 58, of course, if you include the pole position and the fastest lap. Renault in third on 270. They're not entirely out of the mix either. Mercedes in fourth on 175, Williams in 5th on 169, Red Bull 6th on 167, then you've got Haas in 7th on 152, so only 23 points separating 4th to 7th, Racing Point in 8th on 127, then AlphaTauri in 9th on 66, Ferrari in 10th on 64. Ferrari well down the grid in terms of the constructors, but surely we're going to see the crowning glory for McLaren and Mashiro being a two-time champion in TTML tonight.
Yeah, once again, the ball is in McLaren's court, and it's going to be a monstrous effort from Alfa Romeo to be able to close that gap and gain enough points to overtake McLaren. The interesting battle that I'm keeping an eye on, though, is that battle for fourth in the constructors, because obviously with Seb not here, it is entirely possible that Williams Red Bull could jump him.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating, I think, in terms of what we're going to see in terms of battles. I'm sure, as we go along, we'll try and update you as much as possible with the driver's standings, with the constructor's standings as we go along as well. But we are just moments away from starting, of course, here in TTML Division 2. It is going to be the final round of the season, and then we've got our quick workaround, of course, to next week. We'll show you the calendar right at the end of the stream. But for now, we are going to get ourselves in towards qualifying. It's going to be a fascinating night of action at the Abu Dhabi circuit. Expect high drama, high tyre degradation as well. And we'll talk about that, of course, as we go more in towards qualifying. But with all of that being said, it is now time to do the deed. It is now time for us to go into qualifying for the final time this season. Well then, welcome along to TTML Division 2, Season 2 at the Abu Dhabi circuit for round 11 of the championship as we take on the Yas Marina circuit here at Yas Island. 3 tyre compounds of course available to the drivers, the C3, C4 and C5, the softs, mediums and the hards. And we'll talk more about tyre deg later on as we go in towards qualifying. Let's have a look then at the track in question. And there's of course a 5.5 kilometre circuit. It will eventually show on the screen. Yeah, 5.5 kilometre circuit, 21 turns away the drivers out on track with the 2 DRS zones. One down the start-finish straight, one down the turn 8, one down towards turn 11. It's going to be fascinating to see, of course, in terms of overtaking, whether or not drivers can try and get a move done as we go into the race. Certainly because qualifying is now among us, and we're about to get the first drivers out on track now, so it's going to be a fascinating night to see. 16 drivers here, and we're about to do battle. I think Missile is going to be one of the first drivers out on track, Mike.
Yep, Missile just leaving that Mercedes pit garage, and interestingly enough, I did notice that we haven't got Volakongan in here tonight.
Ooh, good spot. I didn't see that. I did not see that on the lobby list. So yeah, Volakongan not making it. So that means then Volakongan's chances of outscoring Ryan, who is here, is quite limited now because he's obviously not in attendance. He might turn up later in the session, we don't know. But Missile, first driver out on track. Look at that lovely striking Mercedes, of course, out on track. Let's get all the telemetry and everything up. We'll not get the track map up though, so we can save you a little bit of time there on the right hand side. You should know this track by now if you saw the track introduction. Missile though, relatively new driver. I think he joined last week if I'm not mistaken in Mexico on our first race back in the new year. How did you rate his performance last time in Mexico? Because he picked up quite a few penalties for my on my thoughts, I think.
Yeah, Mexico just being one of those tracks where picking up penalties is one of those things that it's almost pretty much guaranteed at Mexico. But you know, he was getting involved. He was scrapping out with a whole heap of people through that race, and you know, it'll be exciting to see what he can do here tonight.
It is indeed, and he comes through this triple right-hander through 15, 16 and 17. I think we saw an overtake around the outside there on Tuesday night as well in Division 1, which was not quite bad at all, with Kieran McGinley's final race, of course, here in TTML for this season, of course. He won't be back next season, but we'll run you through the lineup very soon indeed about that. But Missile coming around the final corner, and it's now time to take you on board with a lap of the Yas Marina circuit. So let's run down in towards turn 1 on board with him. If I can get my words out tonight, I will. Missile through turn 1, and then up the hill through turns 2 and 3. The daylight hours here in Abu Dhabi, it's pretty much adjacent towards qualifying. Ace Noisy has retired from the session in Sector 3. Not sure if that's because of a qualifying ban, not sure if that's either a crash out on track. We haven't got the track map up, so I can't tell you. Missile now coming through turn 7, and then on the kilometre straight, running down towards turn 8. Very tricky braking point this, of course. Opening up that DRS to about 200 miles an hour as he now comes down the straight towards turn number 8. And remember, Hulkenberg was hanging like a cow there in 2018 through 8 and then through 9. Got flipped up, of course, on the curb by another car, and then flipped up upside down and was literally hanging like a cow through turn 10, and then on the run towards turn 11 at the end of the F2 pit straight, which used to be the F2 pit start. 56.7 from Missile through the middle sector, not too bad at all. Flying through the S section there, very on the limit as he now comes through the Mercedes, passing the Marina to the right hand side as he now comes through 15. Then 16, and then hardens the braking zone of turn 17. Doesn't want to get an invalid lap. That looked perfect through there from Missile as he now comes through 18. And then on the exit coming under the grandstand through 19. Really good lap this from Missile. Really nice and clean. He's still got about 50% of ERS left as well. Coming round to the final 2 corners through turn 20, now through turn 21. That is a lap of the Yas Marina circuit, and that is a 133.4 from Missile. Not a bad lap to start us off.
Yeah, but that's immediately going to be beaten by Ryan, who pops in with a 32.9. I was on board with Ryan throughout that entire lap, and it looked a very silky smooth lap there from XL Ryan.
Yeah, not a bad lap. I mean, he's 4.5 tenths of a second ahead of Missile currently. Just trying to see if there's anybody nearing the line. Caladre is coming through the final sector now as well. There's an Alfa Romeo around the final corners with Dema, and he goes third, 33.6. Mashiro, though, champion, 32.7. Goes quicker than Ryan by 2.5 tenths of a second. Very nice lap there for Mashiro. Ryan second, Jekyll in third. Scuba pops himself up to fourth and only 1/100th of a second off Jekyll as now Caladre comes around the final couple of corners. Caladre, I had the honour of commentating for the IFR team in the 24 hours of F1. Made his debut last week, of course, and 1:33.4 puts him 7th now with F1 AMG going up into 5th.
Yep, F1 AMG there, popped himself up into 5th, doing good for the Scuderias, and of course, with the grid being a few drivers less than what we are usually used to, it's an opportunity for the likes of F1 AMG, who's had a bit of a rocky season, let's say, and as well as Johansson currently in P10. It's an opportunity for them to get some good points late into the season, really boost their confidence moving on into the next season.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating, I think, to see, of course, how these guys go on. As of course, the division sign-ups, I think, they're going to be released over the weekend, I believe. So we'll be on tenterhooks to see who we're going to be commentated on and who's going to be in what tier, of course, next season. I'm over with Just Chris, and he's now on a lap in the Renault, coming towards the end of the middle sector. 56.7, not too bad at all. He's around Missile, F1 AMG, Matt Tibble sort of area, I think, with this lap so far. And the Cypriot now comes through turn 14. Oh, and spins the car, gets caught on the curb, spins the car, just about avoids contact, but he's got right side end plate damage, as you see the front wing come off there. And Just Chris, sadly, just a little bit too greedy, I think, on the curb, and the car over-rotated, and now he is in the wall, and that is his lap pretty much done.
Yep, and that's one of the issues with this track. As much as you want to restrict as much time as possible by using these curbs, they can be incredibly lethal if you take the mickey out of them and just seem to forget that they're there, and they'll just come back and bite you.
It really does come back to bite, and Just Chris, of course, will be making his way now into the pit lane. Tionis is going to be one of the first out on track now. Pretty much the first round of laps are done. So Mashiro out on top from Ryan in second, Jekyll in third, Scuba currently in fourth position. Matibos 5th, F1 AMG 6th, Missile 7th, Caladra 8th, with them and 9th, Johansson 10th, and Callboy there in 11th with a 1:34.1. Lap time still yet to be set from Sway, Just Chris, Tionis and Alonso. Did you see what happened to Noisy, by the way? Did he retire in the pit lane?
Yeah, Ace Noisy did retire in the pit lane, unfortunately. I'm not sure if it's a qualifying ban or if he just wasn't really prepared for a qualifying. As I'm currently on board with Missile right now, who's just not really too focused on these track limits on his outlap.
Well, it's one thing to try and get a lap in, but on an outlap, you can try and pick up this next lap invalidated. So it's going to be interesting to see if he's got that and whether he'll make his way, of course, back into the pit lane as we slowly approach the halfway stage, of course, here in qualifying. And it's going to be a fascinating night, I think, in terms of what we're going to see. We have got now Tionis running on board, coming around the final corner now. And Tionis is about to start a lap. Oh, over-rotates slightly coming through the final corner. But now gets us underway on another round of laps as he comes now through turn 1. Very nicely indeed there from Tionis. Then through turns 2. And then through turn 3. Looks quite unstable, that setup, if I've got to be honest. But now Tionis coming through towards turn 4. 16.8, so he's sub 17 through the first sector, which is a good first sector indeed. And now Tionis over-rotating again on the exit of turn 6. Now through turn 7. That car looks really unstable for my liking.
Yeah, it's... Honestly, setups around here, you need a fast setup, and just from hearing you talk about Dijonis' setup and his car stability and everything, looks like he may just have a TT setup on, which would work in TT, but not in terms of a race. So hopefully he'll be able to keep that car under control, because right now it seems like he's battling with the beast out there.
Well, he set a quicker middle sector than Missile, actually, so this is going to be quite interesting to see how he gets on. F1AMG just in front, Matt Tibos there, 5th, 6th and 7th. We're aiming around that sort of area as Chonis runs wide. That, I think, is Ryan off coming through, just in behind. Sorry, just Chris, it's the other Renault, just in behind, just off track, coming through 17 and 18. Not sure if, I think he was on an outlap, getting out of the way. But Demmer as well, swiftly gets out of the way of his fellow compadre here in Division 2. Tionis then round the final corner, comes across the line, and he goes 10th. 133.7, not a bad lap there at all.
Not a bad lap at all. Unfortunately for Missile, he did invalidate. I was just on board with Sway, who also invalidated. XL Ryan now in the penultimate corner. Really pushing it to the edge here as he tries to take Mashiro off that top step, and only 800s off.
Not a bad lap there from Ryan, and of course he's got his own championship battle to think about further down in the top 10, but with Volakonga not being here, he's now picking up points and Ryan goes 2nd. Very nice lap there from him. J. Cole 3rd, Scuba in 4th. Look at J. Cole and Scuba's times though, 133 flat, 133 flat. Only separated by 100th of a second. However, I believe Scuba is improving on his lap as we now come on board with him through the final couple of corners. The Irishman goes and comes across the line. This is a good lap. He could go 3rd. He doesn't, and he doesn't even improve in the end. So it made me to look like an absolute mug right there. Scuba 4th, and he stays in behind Jekyll. Bit of a disappointment, I think. He was only a 10th off his lap.
Yeah, I was on board with him as Matt Tibos here pops up in the 3 with a 32.9, finding a bit extra time in the other McLaren. But yeah, I was on board with Scuba pretty much for most of that final sector, and he was down in sector 2 by half a temp, so maybe just losing little bits of time here and there in the final 2 sectors.
Johansson popped himself up into 6th there as well, 133.2. There was a car absolutely shooting through camera shot. Don't know who that was shooting through camera shot in behind Johansson. But goodness me, it just caught my eye as he just flew past. I think it might have been Matt Tibos or the Mercedes of Missile possibly on an outlap. One of the two just cut the chicane completely, nearly ran into the back of Johansson. Goodness me, Matt Tibos though going 3rd with his lap. Ryan 2nd, Mashiro though out on top. Mashiro's actually on a lap and he's 6,000 down coming through the end of the first sector. Now through the middle sector, let's see what he can do as he now comes up towards turn 11. 900ths down, Mashiro not really improving. He doesn't have to worry about anything, to be honest. He's already been crowned champion here in Division 2, but he's certainly got to try and make his namesake if he's going to be in Division 1 next season. And I can tell you, because he's been automatically, because he's won the championship, he's automatically promoted, of course, to Division 1 next season, which means I think it's 2 seasons consecutively I get to commentate on champions from both Division 2 and Division 1 in the same race, which is quite good. Mashiro coming in through the final couple of corners, comes across the line, nearly finds a little bit of time actually in that final sector. Nice lap though, 132.7 for Mashiro, and didn't improve, but very consistent in terms of lap times. Missile, I think, has just started up on a lap with just Chris coming back into pit lane.
Yep, unfortunately everyone behind Mashiro, they're invalidating on the lap time, so all of them ducking back into the pit. So Missile being the only man right now on a flying lap, I would presume that Mashiro will be in at the end of this lap, maybe for one final run. It'll be interesting to see if Missile will bail out at the end of this lap to go for one final run, or whether he'll continue on. Time will tell. But coming now towards the second sector, split the RS wide open. The sector saying,
oh, it's not bad.
4 tenths up. Right now he's there with the likes of J. Cole and Scuba, so this will be a very good lap for Missile.
He's on the limit.
Together. Yeah, he's got to keep it together in this final sector. Now, this corner, I would say this corner is the most difficult corner of the track there after the double.
Beautiful.
And he navigates that fantastically into the penultimate corner now. And now, through the final corner.
Could we top? Oh, goes third. 32.8 from Missile. Really good lap time there. Mashiro out on top right and second now. Missile third, but Missile coming out there like a missile. I think that's a really bad pun, I know. 3.5 minutes to go. Missile third, 32.8 out on track. And I don't think he'll have time to have another lap in because, what, 3 minutes and 20 from here? It's about 1 minute and 15 seconds out. I don't think he'll get another lap in. It's going to be really tight if he does.
Yeah, I think this is qualifying session over and done with now for the Mercedes. He probably will try by cutting every single corner known to man to get back to the pits, but I think it'll be all for nothing. So our attentions will turn on to the first person who will start the final flying lap, and I believe that will be J. Cole, who I'm currently on board with.
Yeah, the master, of course, of LOE PC going forward, and I've been reliably informed. I think he's commentating against alongside one King Kodiak, who's making his return back to the F1 commentating ranks, which is really, really great news, and it inspires me and the rest of the League of Europe commentators, of course, to try and get another lap in. Speaking, Missile just goes through. J. Cole, though, he is now rounding the final couple of corners, and we ride on board with him. He might go as slow as this, but we're going to still ride on board with you and put pressure on you on this lap. A little bit squirrely at the final corner, but now we ride on board with J. Cole as he now comes down towards turn 1. Breaks just off the 100-metre board, really tight into the turn in there through turn 1. And now up the hill, the slight rise through turn 2, then through turn 3, Callboy to the left-hand side there, and that is Matt Tibos getting out of the way to the right-hand side. J. Cole through at first sector, 16.7, not too bad through the first sector. We saw quicker ones, though, in Division 1. That, I believe, is Wadema, who's came out beautifully ahead of him. And look at this, he's going to give him a right old good toe running down in towards turn 8. And this could be the difference, really, between life and death and between getting a valid lap and an invalid lap, of course, out on track with 1.5 minutes to go. Just over, Mashiro, Ryan, Missile, your top 3. J. Cole now coming out of turn 8, then through turn 9. Oh, I thought he nearly invalidated through that. That was right on the limit of the curb. Now through turn 10, and then on the run towards a very tricky braking zone at turn 11. Let's see what he can do in this middle sector. He is on the limit, 56.2 through the middle sector from J. Cole. Really good middle sector so far. Now coming through the final sector through turn 14, the Marina Bay to the right hand side, and now coming through the triple right of 15, then through 16, and then hard into the brakes of 17. Really good through there. He is right on the limit here, J. Cole. Do you know what? I think he could go ahead of Ryan with this lap. J. Cole now coming through the final couple of corners, flies past our camera poles at turn 19. Now through 20, he's invalidated though. I've absolutely screwed up his lap. He comes around the final corner. Let's see what it would have been anyways. 1:32.784, and he would have been 2 thousandths off the back of Ryan.
Yeah, unfortunately from J. Cole, the Alfa Romeo teamwork there was absolutely perfect, and Ryan also invalidates in the final sector. And Johansson's also invalidated early in sector 1. Redeemer's just started his lap. Who else have we got on a lap in the final sector?
But he's invalid. Oh, and he's
also got Jonas.
That's me. I thought Sway was going to go on the wall there coming through turn 19. He cuts across, and that will be him done, I think, in this session. Yep, Sway into the pit lane. Ryan is done. Missile is done. Have we got anybody else on improving lap?
Yes. Jonas now coming for the final corner.
Across the line. Goes third. 32.8, and he goes 3,000 ahead of Missile. Absolutely unbelievable. Missile, I think, just followed in with a 32.8 behind him. Really good lap time from them both. Next one will be just Chris to come across the line. I think he's 4 tenths down. And there's a racing point in behind him, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, is Johansson on a lap. Just Chris is not improving. Not improving. Round the final corner, he's going to be about a second off his lap time. Yeah, dead on a second, I think, on his lap time there. Johansson back into the pit lane. Anybody improving? Scuba's up in the final sector. Anybody else, Mike?
Well, I'm currently on board with Alonso right now. He hasn't actually set a lap time, but he's on the edge of track limits, I would say, right now.
And he's just in behind Scuba, who I'm choosing to go on board with as well. So it's going to be literally nip and tuck across the line. Tionis third, J. Cole still fifth, Matt Tibos still sixth. Not many improvements. Alonso and Ballard?
Yep, and Caladre there with a 5/10 improvement, gets himself up into sixth, and then Scuba knocks him down into seventh.
Yeah, Scuba comes good there into fifth. That is qualifying, apart from Alonso to come into... Oh no, Alonso has... Is he still going round on track? He is, isn't he?
He is for me.
And now it says he's on his outlap. What? Answers on the postcard, please, in the chat, please. In the chat. I can't explain it. He's run out of fuel now anyway, so he can't go any quicker. Mashiro out on top, though. Ryan in second, and then Tionis in third. Really good lap times. Look at how close it is. Third to fifth. 5,000th of a second separating third to fifth. Tionis, Missile, Scuba. That is close. And 2,000 separating Caladre and Matt Tibos.
And look at that, from first down to eighth, just 2.5 seconds. Separating Mashiro to Matt. Sorry, not seconds, tenths. My bad. My bad. I've been taking that back. I don't know what's going on with Alonso right now. I'm confused.
2.5 seconds.
2.5 tenths. I do
that might be
apologize,
right.
everyone.
Yeah, just Chris has left the session. Goodness me. This is live commentary, everyone. Mashiro out on top from Ryan in second, Tionis in third, Missile in fourth with Scuba rounding off the top five. Top five actually separated by 1/10.5 of a second. Top eight, as you say, Mike, separated by 2.5 tenths of a second. Not 2.5 seconds. Goodness me, we might have a bit of a riot going on in the comment section for you saying that. Jake Hall 6th, Caladre 7th, Matt Demos in 8th, Johansson 9th, F1 AMG in 10th, Cowboy 11th, Swadema in 12th. Just Chris has left the session. Whether that will cause issues with the lobby, we remain and see. 13th, Sway in 14th, Ace Noisy had a qualifying ban in 15th, and Alonso didn't get a lap time in, and he's starting from 16th position. So hopefully we're going to have a full race, first time going. Let's have a look though while we transfer back into the lobby at the track map once again. 5.5 kilometers length distance here, lap distance around the track, that is the Aspen Marina circuit. 28 laps of course, 155.5 kilometers race distance as well. Going to be a fascinating race with 28 laps, as I say, out on track to await the guys and everyone, of course, in the comment section out on track. And I hope that we're going to get back into the lobby. This is an issue on our end, just for Tom's reference. I'm not sure if it's going to cause us for the stream to go down. I don't know what. But hang tight, go and grab a cup of tea. And hopefully when you come back from making that cup of tea, we'll actually get somewhere. But it looks as if I've got a black screen. Have you, Mike?
Yeah, I got a black screen. Oh, there we go. We just got in now, waiting for everyone to
There we are.
perfect their strategy. So hopefully we'll have no more issues. It is a known issue at the moment with Codemasters that it can glitch out a lobby. Hopefully it doesn't happen with us tonight, but you never know.
You never know. Ace Noisy the first to get his setup ready. We are 20 seconds away. Let's have a tune into the comment section. I have intended to do this over the last couple of weeks in Division 2.
I'm going to get roasted.
Let's have a look at the comment section. If you get roasted, I'll try and save your bacon for sure. We can't see anything. Yeah, I know. It wasn't a mistake at all. It was just Codemasters, I think, being Codemasters. Certainly on our end. And we are just about to get going here in the formation lap. And the formation lap, hopefully, is about to begin. We're just waiting on 2 more drivers to ready up. And there we are. And the formation lap now begins. Predicted pit stop strategy. 2 stop around here. Lap 8 to 12. Don't take those pit stop graphics, by the way, by the scruff of the neck. Because I predicted that about lap 5, lap 6, we saw pit stops happen in Division 1 from about lap 4, lap 5 onwards. It just comes to show how high the tyre deg is around here.
Yeah, Yas Marina circuit being very high on tyre degradation. Also, Well, my remembering of this track is also pretty high on tyre heating as well, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, and all of it, I think, makes for a really good race, hopefully, for the season finale, of course, in Abu Dhabi. Before anyone asks, just Chris, by the way, has not rejoined the session, I do not believe. I haven't seen him pop up on the bottom, so hopefully that means we're going to have no issues in terms of the start. If we do, then you will probably see a two-part stream, I'm afraid, and we'll get the race up for you as soon as possible. But Machine Ride on top, Ryan second, Tionis in third. Looking further down the field, though, Cowboy all the way down to Alonso have opted for the very safe strategy. They've gone for a set of medium compound of tyres. Now, if there's a VSC or a safety car around this track, would you imagine that drivers stick to the mediums, or would you see them going to hards, knowing that they can't get as far as what we see around other tracks?
The whole thing with the hards around here is that they are a very durable tyre compared to the soft and the mediums, but they are very slow in terms of race pace. And I think everyone, no matter what, will be staying well away from the hard tyres here.
Yeah, we saw it, I think, in Division 1, and in Division 1, we had the hard compound tyres, but only because there was 2 VSCs that came out during that race. That's the only reason why we got the hards, and why drivers want to change up their strategy. Quickly, as the drivers, of course, come around the final couple of corners, we're going to go to Mike for his final top 3 of the season.
I'm going to go with Ryan for the win, Dijon is second, Scuba third.
Not bad. No Mashiro and all of that as well, which is great to see as we get the drivers now loading in. And, oh, I thought we were going to have a restart there. 5 red lights are on here in Abu Dhabi. And it is lights out and away we go, and Mashiro gets a really good start. So does, though. That is shooting through the pack. There was an AlphaTauri trying to shoot through the pack there through turn 1, and Ryan's got the lead. Ryan has got the lead coming through turn 1. Sway has glitched the timing screens on our side, but Ryan has the lead from Mashiro second, Missile in third. There's all sorts of carnage further down the field. I think Caladre has been caught up in an instant, maybe with Swadema. There was a little bit of contact further down the field, but Caladre now is round. He's at the back of the field. It's Ryan who leads. Mashiro second, Missile in third on settling down. Jonas fourth, Scuba in fifth. Jekyll and Cowboy going side by side out of the hairpin, and everyone side by side running down the straight as we ride on board with them for turn on the run down towards turn 8 for the first time. Jekyll on the left hand side of the track. There's weird yellow flags being shown up on our screen. Cowboy to the right hand side. Jekyll on the inside line. Ace Noisy from his qualifying battle all the way up into 10th. Really good start from Ace Noisy. He could get Cowboy as well on the exit. But now, running down, Jekyll has got that move done. He's up into 8th position. Caladre, Matibos now has left the session as well. So that's going to put him further down the field. Here comes Ace Noisy trying to go around the outside of Cowboy. Can he get the move done? Dutchman against Irishman. And I think the Dutchman has got out on top. Ace Noisy is through. Just about around the outside. Cowboy's got to fight back around the outside, but it's not good enough. And Ace Noisy's through, and he's up into 9th position. I think Jekyll has got a little bit of damage on the left side end plate, if I'm not mistaken. That might not be visible to the eye, but I can certainly see some sort of damage. But Jekyll now is through, and he's up into 7th. Matt Tibos dropping down the field, and towards the end of lap 1, it is Ryan who leads by 5.5 tenths of a second. Mashiro in second, and Missile rounding off the top 3.
Yeah, it looks like, well, it was definitely an Alfa Romeo that Caladre tangled with at the start going through turn 3. But, yeah, it was just one of those things where they just come together in the middle of the corner. And turn 3 is just a bad corner for it to happen.
Especially trying to go side by side. If they were trying to go side by side through turn 3, off a camber of the corner as well, it's never a good idea to do. Scuba's right on board. We're right on board now with Scuba, right on the back of Tionis for 4th and for 5th. Scuba's had a really good start, I think, despite him losing a couple of positions early down in the phase. Matt Tibbles has now just dropped in behind F1 AMG. Caladre, by the way, is just cut on the exit of the pit lane. And just Chris's AI car is going round out on track. But I think, because he's not allowed to rejoin, his car will be an AI pretty much going through. As now Scuba comes and latches onto the back of Tionis once again. Don't think he's going to go for the move, as that is Matt Tibos now joining the session and glitches our screens once again. You love to see a lot of glitches here for the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi. It is Ryan who still leads, Bashir second, Missile third, Tionis fourth, Scuba in fifth. Let's have a look at the position gains early on. Position gains, Ace Noisy, qualifying banner not. He's up 7 positions, up to 8th place out on track, and he's catching J. Cole.
Yep, Ace Noisy had a fantastic start to this race, and you say he's closing into the back of J. Cole, and I'm not sure if J. Cole does have damage. I know you were saying it, it does look like they might be visually just like a little bit off the front wing, but it must be very minor, maybe a lime green front wing if anything.
Yeah, looking at it, I think it's on the left side end plate rather than the right side end plate. As you look on the camera shot there, we're right on board with him. He's in 7th. It doesn't look like he's affecting his performance, certainly so far. Alonso, by the way, has dropped down the field, and that is a glitch once again. He's now back up into 12th. Yeah, really, really strange goings on. Here comes J. Cole on the back of Johansson. This is for 6th position, out on track. Is the Brit going to get the move done on the Dane? The Dane tries to fight to come across. He doesn't. J. Cole's on the inside line, and the Excel man has excelled out on track, and he's up into 6th. I will stop with that pun for next season, I promise.
And Matt Tibos now back in his car, but he has a lot of work to do to get himself back at the field now.
Johansson really close to the back of J. Cole, trying to have a go at him again, coming through the chicane of 11, 12 and 13, and then through 14. But J. Cole's safe, Johansson 7th at this moment in time. I will just mute myself for a couple of minutes. I have to go downstairs and switch off the computer. But I will run on board with the battle for the lead because it's getting quite spicy. Ryan beginning to overwear the tyres, I think. Mashiro in 2nd, Missile in 3rd. Top 4 separated by about 1.2 seconds.
Yep, that is also the battle I'm on board with, and Mashiro has definitely been putting the pressure on XL Ryan, and we got Missile right behind, also trying to pressure the Division 2 champion, who just gets a little bit wide onto the curve there at the exit of turn 1. And of course, DRS enabled now on lap 4, and we will see if Ryan can get the traction out of the hairpin to maybe be able to defend all the way down into the chicane. But it looks like Mashiro has got a fantastic launch there, but looking at it, he is gaining, but probably not enough to make a move into the chicane. No, he's going to stick behind, but will we see a move at the end of the second DRS straight and the run down into turn 11? No, it looks like Ryan has been able to get away slightly, and Missile right on the back of Mashiro there, but backs out, doesn't want to make an unnecessary lunge down the inside if he cannot pull it off. And Scuba now also closing up to the back of Tijones, who's equally just hanging on in there. So the top 5 separated by just under 2 seconds, and then we got a 1.9 second gap back to J. Cole, who was under pressure from Johansson and Ace Noisy, the big gain at the start, as Ryan is into the pits early on. So Ryan into the pits at the end of lap 4, and J. Cole also follows him in. We've got our first runners of pit stops now into the pits, and that releases Mashiro now into the race lead. We'll see if Missile can get onto the back of Mashiro, because Missile was looking pretty close to the back of Mashiro, even when Mashiro had DRS on Ryan. So we'll see if the Mercedes can once again hook it up, maybe have a look down the inside of turn 11. Be close enough. Scoop will also be close enough. He had a peek down the inside, but thought better of it. Back up now towards the battle for the race, as Missile is closing in, not closing in enough. make the move. Seems like everything's starting to stabilize just a little bit here on lap 5. And well, we got Redeemer and a bit of a train that's going on now between Johansson all the way back to Sway. Battle for P5. And of course we've got F1 AMG just a little bit off the back of that. We've got Alonso's ghosted car. It says he's a lap down as J. Cole getting through the ghosted car of Just Chris. And Missil and Johansson both into the pits now. As I believe that is James Ed back from downstairs.
Yeah, you can tell it's me back with my little that I just left. Everyone making their pit stops, it seems. Lap 6 out of 28 if you are just tuning in. And thank you, Mike, for just taking the lead commentary there for a while. Looks like Missil's going to rejoin just in behind Ryan coming out the pit lane. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can try and regain that. He's on a set of medium compound tyres, so it's going to be interesting to see how he can make those work. And he's got a flying J-Call right in behind as well, because J-Cole, of course, passed Just Chris. Running down the straight, though. Scuba right on the back of Tionis, going down into turn 8. Ooh, nearly making a little bit of contact. I think Scuba just trying to look in there to the inside line. I think Tionis is just going to have the momentum to carry down and toward Callboy as well on the back of Noisy. And now Ace Noisy under pressure from Callboy. Which way are they going to jink? He comes to the right-hand side, round the outside, and Ace Noisy, do you know what? He just let him through, and Callboy now through, and he's up into 4th position. Callboy's doing a really good race so far, I think, the Irishman. He is through on the Dutchman, but another Dutchman, Zwadema, on for 2nd place in the championship. He is now chasing these guys down, with Sway involved in this as well.
Yep, and it was a pretty decent 5-man train at one point with Johansson was just ahead of this group of medium runners. Of course he peeled off into the pit, so Callboy, Ace Noisy's Redeemer and Sway now going to be able to battle it out. Matt Tibos is on a set the hard compound tyres. Now I did mention them earlier about being a pretty slow race tyre, but Matt Tibos thinking differently.
Yeah, I mean, longer term, it's gonna suit him quite well, to be honest, out on track. I'll just flick on ball with him and see where he is, if I can actually find him. There he is, out on track. He's in 14th position. He's on a set of hard compounded tyres. Of course, he's going to pass Just Chris, because Just Chris is not here, and Matt Tibos is on a set of hards. It's going to suit him longer term, I think, later on in the race. If he gets 13, 14 laps out of those tyres, it's going to be quite interesting to see. Here comes Scuba, though, on Tionis. Down the inside he goes in towards turn 8, and Scuba now through on Tionis, and Ace Noisy trying to get onto the back of Callboys. Redema very late on the brakes, and again a 5-car train involved in this. I think Alonso's on the back of this, and he's been lapped already, so Alonso really not liking things out on track, unless that is for track position. He might be glitching our end, possibly.
He may be. I haven't seen
Alonso
go around, but he is ghosted, and the times do say 1 minute and 13. But I haven't seen Alonso around or in the pit lane or anything.
So I think he's in 8th position currently, out on track behind Sway. That's what I'm thinking, because I remember him glitching the timing screens coming on lap 3 through the first sector, and then it corrected itself about 10 seconds later. So I think Alonso's behind Sway out on track. It's going to be so difficult to follow, but trust us, we believe Alonso's in 8th position currently. He's 10.4 ahead of Ryan. It's probably about 10 seconds, to be honest, in terms of that gap ahead of Ryan. And he's just losing the back now of these guys. But for him, he's already been into the pit stop, the pit lane once on lap 1, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Unless these timing screens are completely botched, which is typical Codemasters, if that's the case.
Well, it doesn't say that Alonso's been in the pit lane for me.
Let's have a look. Yeah, it hasn't for me either. So that is a glitch. It's just a timing glitch again. Why did they have to do it on the final race of the season here in TTML? It's like we've had a love-hate relationship, I think, with TTML this season and Codemasters in the game. Which is just unbelievable. Anyways, back to the commentary. Noisy on the back of Cowboy, trying to chase him down. Cowboy's got the momentum though to carry him into turn 11 in front and 4th. Noisy 5th was Demmer in 6th, Sway in 7th, and we believe Alonso in 8th as he's on the back of these guys now. As I say, 5-car train developing. Mashiro out in front 1.3 seconds ahead. Just looks to me as if Mashiro's just losing time to Scuba possibly.
Yeah, it does look like Scuba's been closing in a little bit, and one person who's also been closing in, Missile, closing in on the back of Ryan. That gap was 2 seconds when he came out of the pits.
And that's a lap pressure tyres as well for Missile. Mashiro stays out. Oh, Noisy is round. Noisy is coming round, coming through turn 19 out on track. Right side end plate damage as well. So I wonder if he's clipped the wall on the right hand side. He's trying to get the car going and he's spun and over rotated the car, and he's picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. It's all gone wrong for Ace Noisy. Just saw that on the mini map and just saw that on the timing screens before the mini map. But Ace Noisy ran through turn 19 and that promotes him now down into what is 11th position, 12th, 13th out on track. Ignore the timing screens. Remember, Alonso behind Sway currently out on track, and Ace Noisy repairing his front wing, and he comes in, and now he is right at the back of the field, but he's got an AI car to pass, so that'll be 15th for him instead of 16th.
Yeah, Ace Noisy now with a lot of work to do as Cowboy just been overtaken by Zodema.
Easy.
Now up into 4th. Simple DRS overtake, but he does knock up and go deep, and that might invite Cowboy back through. He's gone for the switchback line, and he's tucked right underneath that rear wing of the Alfa Romeo, and Red Bull is going to go around the outside.
Go on, Cowboy!
Side by side.
Brilliant! Absolutely unbelievable stuff by Cowboy. That is a move to savour, going around the outside of Zbadema. He's on for 2nd in the championship, Zbadema, and he's just been to make look like an absolute ordinary driver, I think. Cowboy around the outside, going through 11 and 12. Gotta say to Zbadema, well done for trying to keep that in. Not an easy move to pull off that for Cowboy. Cowboy through, Zbadema made it hard, and that is racing at its finest. Cowboy through and he's up into 4th. Scuba into the pit lane, and Zbadema running wide out of 20, sorry.
Yes, Zbadema running really wide there out of the penultimate corner. And I'm interested to see what Mashiro is going to do strategy-wise. He's gone pretty long on those soft tyres relative to those who he was racing at the start of this race. Ryan obviously coming into the pits at the end of lap 4, and Misil the following lap at the end of lap 5.
He's not...
Yeah, go on.
He's not trying to one-stop, is he? On Trasada Hearts?
Maybe.
Could be, oh, it's mediums, and then he'll go on to the softs about 5 laps from the end, is what I'm thinking. But Demmer through on Cowboy once again. Cowboy nearly into the back, and Sway into the back of Cowboy, just in behind as well. Missile through on Ryan, running down in towards turn 8 as well. All action kicking off, literally left, right and centre. Alonso was trying to get the move done on Sway. This, I tell you now, is for position, but Alonso I don't think is close enough on the back of Sway, and stays in P5 for now. Ryan's having to come back at Missile. I go to J. Cole by mistake, and Ryan now through around the outside on Missile, and he's through and he's up into 5th, and Scuba now through on Johansson. Johansson goes back down the inside of the Dane, cuts him short right up to the pass. Scuba will not be happy, I think, with that cutting move, but Johansson is holding on for 9th, very grimly out on track.
Yeah, Scuba there. Maybe just getting a little bit caught out by Johansson, maybe not expecting Johansson to go back through there and keep it with him, but Missile picking up a 3-second time penalty. How crucial is that going to be come towards the end of this race? But this battle between Ryan and Missile, I think, could be for the race lead, because I have a feeling that Mashiro maybe trying that one stop onto a set of the mediums, so I don't know where it's all going to filter out. If Mashiro is going for the one stop to the mediums, I have a feeling that Ryan and Missile will be able to catch him back up on those fresher, softer tyres towards the end of the race.
Set of hard sounds more plausible, I think. Yellow flag in sector 3, ignore that. Ignore that yellow flag in sector 3. I think it's just Chris coming into the pit lane. That's probably caused that. Here comes Missile right on the back of Ryan. Oh, very close to the back of him. And now the two Red Bulls are going side by side. Sway now through on Callboy. Gets the move done. Alonso trying to fight for position as well, just in behind. But Sway through and he's up into third. Really good racing happening out on track. Season finale it might be, but these guys are putting on a show for us. Lap 11 out of 28. And I have a feeling Mashiro will probably come into the pit lane this lap if he was to go two-stop onto a set of mediums and then onto a set of softs. Mediums only last about 10-11 laps around here. So if he can make that, look at that, perfect. Mashiro into the pit lane. Expect him now onto a set of medium compound of tyres. If he goes onto a set of hards though, I won't be surprised if he tries to get to the end of the race. 16 laps can do it, but with good tyre management. In fact though, it's a set of mediums for Mashiro, so that is a guaranteed two-stop now, and with about 5 laps to go from the end of the race, you'll see him pit in.
I'm not 100%.
Oh, Tionas down the inside of Johansson! Sorry to cut in, Johansson! Right on the outside line, Tionas trying to make room there down the inside. He finally gets the move done, forces Johansson out of the way, and Johansson now down into P10 out on track. Jonas even in P9 out on track. And was that a cat in the background that I just heard?
It wasn't one of my ones this time.
Just had some. I just heard something. I had the siren or something. Anyways, Scuba now on the inside line. That's probably on Tom's end, I think. Ryan 4th. Missile. Oh, nearly into the back. Scuba now up into 7th as well. Literally, honestly, we need Tom here as a third cameraman out on track. It's been fantastic stuff. Missile's coming back at Ryan, and he's now forced to the outside line. Here comes the Mercedes all the way around the outside. Can he get the move done? Ryan's on the inside line. They're still side by side. Fair play to them both. Ryan's still on the inside line. Missile's trying to fight around the outside. He's just left out the hangout to dry. And Ryan, I think, has got this move done. Don't go up the inside up here. 316, and inevitably, he was going to get contact. Missile should have backed out that one, and Ryan's at the race, and a safety car has been deployed. That is just silly, I think, out on track. Missile should have just backed off, let Ryan have the position, and let them both have at least a good race. Ryan now out of the race. It's so frustrating. Safety car now out. Zwadema leading the way as he comes into the pit lane. But what does this do for Mashiro, who's just come out the pit lane? Does he stay out on those tyres and go for a two-stop, or does he go into a set of hards, which can, I think, guaranteed make it to the end? Your answer is there. He's still out on track.
Yeah, and just before you was jumping on that battle between Ryan and Missile, I was on board with Alonso, who was trying to make the move on Caladre. They both collided, and Alonso was spun around. Of course, I'm currently on board with him now, and he's glitching his way down the pit lane. And now he's on the pit straight.
Wait, what? Oh, there he is. He's oh! Goodness me, I'm not sure if we're seeing this.
He's driving
there he is! There he is! Now he's rejoining the right way, going out the pit lane. What on earth is going on here tonight? That's probably the silliest thing I've ever seen on Formula 1. On F1 2020. That is madness. So, what we can say is, Alonso has rejoined in 13th position, because that behind him is Ace Noisy. So Alonso is in 13th, on a set of soft compound of tyres. It's not a bad strategy to go on short term, but longer term, I think Alonso struggled for tyre management throughout these races this season in Division 2. That's going to be a big task for him.
Yeah, I think for Alonso, he's going for maximum gain early on. Hopefully, try to make his way up the order. Maybe it'll work out for him, because he will be most likely on another set of softs that can be at the stages of this race. And I'm starting to wonder now, for Mashiro, with this safety car being out, he may just get enough free laps on those mediums just to take them to the end. So maybe that's the reason why he stayed out.
But I will come back at you and say Scuba and Jonas are on 2 lap older tyres than him, but I believe Scuba and Jonas will go onto the set of soft compound of tyres the same point as Mashiro if they're good on their tyres. So it's going to be fascinating fascinating to see how this race is going to unfold. Essentially, think of it this way. Callboy's still staying out on track, is currently in the lead of the race. Scuba, though, as Missile has retired coming into the pit lane. Not sure, did anything occur under the safety car for him to do that?
Would you like me to have a little check on the race director?
You can do, yeah. We'll run on board with the leader, Callboy. 0.5 of a second now ahead of Scuba, of course. We're still under the safety car. Sway and Ace Noisy into the pit lane. Alonso is now P11 out on track. He'll have to stay behind just Chris's AI, I think. But he is P11 out on track. No, in fact, he's ahead of just Chris's AI. So he's P11 now out on track. It's so difficult to follow. We're trying to overcomplicate things, but Alonso's in 11th, basically, is what we're trying to say. But, did anything happen under the race director with Missile?
No 5-second time penalties or anything. A few track limit warnings, but I think Missile has done that, so kind of like he's not trying to gain from the incident with Ryan. He's probably just retired out of, I want to say, a good sportsmanship, a fair game winner, but thinking that's probably the reason why he has retired.
I've got to be honest, damage has already been done. I think with him continuing on that few more laps, damage has already been done. Safety car, though, is coming in this lap, which we can report, and we're at the halfway stage appropriately. Callboy leading, Scuba second, Tionas in third position, and now Callboy, for the first time this season, is now the safety car. He's the virtual Burt Marlander out on track, and as he continues up this very consistent pace, he's not going to allow much room for error as we come out the final two corners. He'll let that safety car go as much as possible, of course. Got to be careful around this track, of course, because it's so tight to the barriers, especially in this final sector. You've got to get this safety car start right. And Callboy will be hoping that as he now comes around turn 18 and 19 to start us off here once again. And the second half of the race about to begin. Callboy out on top, Scuba second, Tionas in third as we go under the safety car restart. Callboy will go any second. Around about now. Perfect. Callboy now through the final couple of corners. And now Scuba tries to hunt him down. Tionas has picked up a 3-second time penalty for running wide through turn 20. Scuba, though, has got a tremendous restart. Those fresher tyres are really on the limit as he's now on the back of Callboy running down towards turn 1. There was a bit of a slide out, I think, from Mashiro just in the background. But Callboy surely is going to be absolutely inundated by losing positions here as Scuba now runs to the outside line. Now towards the inside line, but Callboy holds on to the lead of the race. Yellow flags in sector 1, 2 and 3. Just ignore them. Johansson has managed to reclaim the move on Mashiro. I think trying to look down the inside there in towards turn 6. F1MG round the outside of Zwadema as well. And now he's on the back of the Dutchman. And the German now trying to get the move done running down the straight. Matt Tibos as well, side by side with J. Cole running down the straight. Callboy has been overtaken for the lead by Scuba. Callboy, though, invited back through and he's into the lead of the race. And Scuba and Tionas now, there's all sorts of carnage happening further up the field. Callboy gets bullied out of positions. And now Tionas and Scuba are side by side running down towards turn 11. There's so much going on in this safety car restart, we can't keep up. Scuba leading the way, Tionas in second, Johansson in third, Mashiro in fourth, and Callboy now all the way down into fifth. Zwadema trying to look to the inside line, doesn't get the move done though, and remains in P6 and P7 for now. Alonso, by the way, is in P12. He's appropriately in the right position now, out on track.
Yeah, it looks like it. It seems to have fixed itself, finally.
Oh, goodness me, Callboy hangs F1MG out to dry through 17, now through 18 and 19, and Callboy, Zwadema's trying to go all the way around the outside. No way. And J. Cole in behind as well. So much Constantino effect, it's letting the front four get away. Callboy now is essentially the train holder at this point in time.
Yeah, Callboy doing a...
Oh, Caladre down the inside, gets Matt Tibos. Matt Tibos is going to run side by side through turn 2. No way is he going to try and pull this one off. Oh, and there's contact. Matt Tibos out the race. That was just trying to go side by side down in towards turn 2, and a VSC has been deployed out on track, and now it's glitched Alonso's timings again, which is absolutely brilliant. So unfortunate. Matt Tibos was running side by side with Caladre. Caladre just let him short of room, but to be honest, too wide into turn 2 doesn't really go.
And yeah, F1 AMG, I thought he may have just slightly tapped the back of Callboy there at the hairpin and picks up a 5-second time penalty. I believe Callboy would also be receiving that penalty, and Callboy going to be jumping into the pits very soon, I would think, for a... I'm guessing he's trying to go medium soft though?
He has to. He's been unbelievable, I think, in terms of his tyre wear, but now F1 AMG were back underway as he's now hunting them down. Ferrari against Red Bull, and now the Ferrari is through. F1 AMG through. He's got 8 seconds worth of penalties. Callboy trying to fight back. He's down the inside line, Callboy, and gets the move done. Brilliant incisiveness by Callboy. Gets the move done. F1 AMG fights him back. It's getting a little bit aggressive in the final race of the season here in Abu Dhabi. Might be a season finale, but God, guys, keep it clean for goodness sake. We've already had crashes so far this race. F1 AMG 5th, Callboy in 6th. Yellow flags in sector 1 and 2 and 3 are becoming an absolute joke. J. Cole right on the back as Vadema. There's the penalty situation. Tionas, Johansson, Ace 3 seconds, 8 seconds worth for F1 AMG, and for Callboy, Michiel down the inside of Johansson down and towards turn 1, gets the move done. Brilliant stuff by the defending champ as Caladre is retired coming into the pit lane.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic move there from Michiel. He just had
He's
to
letting them through. He's letting them through. He was trying to let him through, and he said that's why. 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. He was trying to let him through. He got the overtake done. It seemed legal down the inside through turn 1, but I think because there was a yellow flag out on track in sector 1, that was classed as illegal because there was a lobby glitch. That 5 seconds has got to get removed. I'm sorry. So Adema now through on Callboy. J. Cole now going to be through on Callboy. What was that?
I was going to say J. Cole might have the same issue as he was overtaking Callboy. He might end up with that illegal overtake.
Oh, please say.
Doesn't appear to be. Doesn't appear so at the moment, but he gets lashed through by Zodema, who's obviously not going to fight his teammate. J. Cole now up to 6th, but yeah, with all these blank yellow flags being given out every 2 seconds, is absolutely ruining any hopes of these guys actually racing and making overtakes, because they're just going to get 5-second time penalties for it.
I can honestly compare this to Belgium Division 5. If you watched Belgium Division 5, don't. We had 6 safety cars then. 6.
That's possible?
I kid you not. Yeah, possible. 6 safety cars that day. And we only got about 5 laps worth of racing out on track. Scuba, though, what we can say definitively, is in the lead of this race by a second. From Tionas in 2nd, Mashiro in 3rd, Johansson 4th, and F1 AMG in 5th. Alonso, by the way, is about 8th, I think, out on track. So,
he's in 8th.
Oh, he's in 8th now. Now he's down to 12th. So he's in 8th, he's ahead of Ace Noisy. Ace Noisy hunting him down, running through the middle sector now as F1 AMG tries to hunt onto the back of Johansson, running down the straight. The Dane already been involved in 1 incident tonight. No, sorry, that was Caladre. I do apologise. Johansson trying to defend the position from F1 AMG. Caladre retiring out of the session. Maybe, again, out of good sportsmanship, but you never know. I think the stewards are going to be quite harsh, I think, in terms of the penalties. It's the final race of the season. I know it is, but come on, keep it clean, like you've just seen with F1 AMG. Going around the outside of Johansson, down in towards turn 11. Gets the move done, he's up into 4th.
Good stuff there from AMG to get through on Johansson, who, I mean, Johansson's definitely got to make another pit stop. And I'm going to be interested to see what his pace will be like and whether or not he's going to be on the back of Callboy. Callboy, having served that 5-second time penalty in the pit lane, is now out on those soft tyres and is going to be flying for these next few laps. So I assume he'll be able to get that 5-second extra that he spent in the pits down to nothing. But going to be interesting to see who's going to come out on top between Johansson and Callboy there.
It really is a big ask, I think. J. Cole now on the back of Johansson. Swadema, Ace Noisy, Sway also trying to battle. Jonas is closing in on Scuba, by the way, for the race lead. They're running down the straight now. We finally see green flags, which I think is the first time we've ever seen it tonight. J. Cole on the back of Johansson.
What a traction there from J. Cole. Absolutely no wheel spin whatsoever. Straight underneath the rear wing and gets the move done. Absolutely fantastic.
I think that's Alonso and Swadema as well for 7th. So Alonso now through and he's up into 7th. Kid you not. He is through and he's up into 7th. There's Swadema in 8th. It's noisy now 9th and Sway now 10th. So Alonso on fresh mediums. He can make it to the end. As long as his tyre wear is good. He is now through and he's up into 7th out on track. So, making good progress. Alonso likes to come from the back of the field and put on a good show, doesn't he, the German?
Yep, that he does, and right now doing a very good job up in he is P7. And it is difficult to keep up with Alonso where he is in this race, but I believe he's P7. Right behind his teammate now. And this is good for the racing point in the constructors. I'm just going to quickly get up the standings. They are in a bit of no man's land, but still good points from late into the season.
Yeah, I mean Alonso in 6th, 7th,
7th, Johansson in 6th.
7th. You know, I'm even confusing myself now with the graphics on the left-hand side. Yeah, Hansen in 6th, Alonso in 7th. Yeah, so the racing points are 6th and 7th. So they're going to be picking up a really good haul of points, I think, out on track, which is great to see. Sway now on the back of Ace Noisy, 8th and 9th. Sorry, 9th and 10th, we should say. It's getting confusing, we know. Scuba leading the way, Jonas in 2nd, Mashiro in 3rd position. Here comes Jonas now on the back of Scuba. Can he try and look to get the move done? Don't think he will. He's 4/10 off going into the corner and hangs on. Division 3, by the way, I don't think is having as many glitters as what we are. They have got 16 viewers, and of course you can go and support Aiden Carter and Conti. Talking you through that one. Stefan on top, Isotopic 2nd, Martin Bell in 3rd, currently on lap 19 out of 28. So they're a couple of laps behind us. About a lap and a half behind us, I think. And Scuba leads the way on towards lap 21 here in Division 2 from Jonas in 2nd, Mashiro in 3rd. And really good stuff, of course, out on track. And looking at the comment section, I don't think people are very happy by Missiles driving, is what I can say.
Yeah.
Johansson in.
Just Johansson in and assume soft tyres now to the end. I wonder where he's going to come out relative to Cowboy. It looks like he may be well ahead.
Oh yeah, he'll be about 8 seconds ahead, I think, coming out the pit lane. You watch, he'll come out of the pit lane now. Cowboy's only out the final corner. It's about 7 or 8 seconds down from the start of the finish straight. So Johansson, I think, is going to be about 7 seconds, I would say, ahead of Cowboy. Yeah, ignore that. 4.7 is the gap. J. Cole, right on the back of F1MG.
There was a 7 there.
I said 7. 7 seconds, and I saw 4.7 come up.
Yeah,
there
was a 7 there, though.
There was a 7 there. Give us that, I think, even though we were off by about 2.3 seconds. J. Cole is through on F1AMG, and Sway is through on Ace Noisy as well, and that is for 9th position out on track, I believe. It's Vadema in 8th? 7th? 7th.
7th?
Alonso's still ahead of Vadema, so Alonso's in 7th, so Vadema in 8th? No, so Vadema will be 7th, Sway in 8th, Ace Noisy in 9th, so Sway and Ace Noisy. Sway got that move done. P8 out on track. Noisy is P9. There we are. We're professionals. Goodness me. Jonas closing down on the back of Scuba. 6/10 of a second separating as we come on towards the final few laps here in what has been Division 2's, well, weirdest race of the season, I think it's fair to say. Scuba leading Jonas 2nd, Mashiro in 3rd, and look at Mashiro hunting him down. 1 second the gap as Sway is round coming out of turn 3.
I was about to say that's a safety car, but it's not. It's just yellow flags all over the place again.
yellow flags are going to be the death of us, I think, in this commentary box tonight, honestly. It is so difficult to try and keep up. We hope you've enjoyed the commentary no matter what. Scuba, Tionis, first and second. Mashiro in third. Looking at the penalty situation, Tionis 3 seconds, Mashiro 5 seconds. J. Cole, if you can stay on in there, 4.7 seconds. I would say, if you've got a top 3 graphic at the ready, just hold off for a couple of laps just yet. That's aimed at Tom, of course, who's doing our graphics. Scuba, Jonas, Mashiro first, second and third. J. Cole, F1 AMGs, Vadema, Ace Noisy, Swain, Johansson, Callboy, Just Chris, and Alonso. Alonso still, though, in P6. Out on track from Vadema, and then Ace Noisy 7th and 8th position. Here we go, though. Battle for the lead developing. Scuba leading the way by 7/10 of a second. Tionis is second, Mashiro in third. Mashiro with 2 lap pressure tyres is looking all over these two.
Mashiro absolutely flying right now. The only thing that will hurt him will be that penalty, but we obviously believe that should be removed. It was a ridiculous penalty there.
And now they come down the straight once again. Johansson, he fastest up the race. Swain to the pit lane to repair that left side end plate damage. I don't think Mashiro's going to be close enough to the back of Tionis here. Tionis doing a really sterling job out on track. J. Cole trying to fend off the attentions as well of F1 AMG. They just come into the camera shot just in behind there from Mashiro's rear wing. And Tionis now trying to hunt down Scuba. Scuba's controlled this race, I think, throughout. But he's got one big task now ahead of him. And that's to focus on the 2 drivers behind him rather than the track ahead. Because look at Scuba. 3/10 of a second. Tionis now 3/10 of a second. They're pretty much even Stevens in terms of the timings out on track. And we've only got a couple of more laps to go. 5.5 laps to go. And Scuba leading, Tionis second, Mashiro in third. But as I said, about half a lap ago, Mashiro all over the back of these two. It's one thing to get close to a driver around this track. It's another thing to overtake.
Especially with the way the DRS zones are set up, is very easy to
goodness me,
put yourself back in front of a driver who just overtakes you as you go into that second DRS straight.
Oh, goodness me. Mashiro had a moment actually just coming out the final corner which lost them about 0.2 of a second out on track. Alonso's pulling away from Vadema as well. On that set of mediums, he's pulling away about 1.5 seconds now. I would say that gap is visually on the mini-map, on the track map to the right-hand side. Mashiro now on the back of Tionis. Scuba leading the way, 0.5 of a second, 0.6. That gap extends out once again, but has Mashiro got enough left in the tank to try and have a go at Tionis running down the straight? He's not going to have a go this time around. Tionis might have a go at Scuba, but it's all going to Constantine up thing. I think into turn 11 and Tionis. In fact, it's Constantine into turn 8 and 9. Tionis hit the back of Scuba, lets him on his merry way. Mashiro had a little bit of contact in that as well. I think I'm fair to say no front wing damage for either of them. Really good to see. And Tionis and Mashiro still cannot find a way through back on Scuba. But F1 AMG might on J. Cole. Not quite close enough this time around.
Nope, and Mashiro and Tionis are getting incredibly fortunate to not get wing damage in that situation.
Oh, 4.5 laps to go. Scuba leading the way by 3 seconds. Tionis in second. Look at Mashiro though, he's getting more hasty now in that McLaren. He might be the champion, but I think he wants this out on track. He wants this win with that 5-second penalty. I would say if that penalty gets removed from Mashiro, just think of him as being on no penalties at all. That 5-second time penalty probably be removed. If it's not, then he's got 5 seconds. If he does get that removed, he's essentially now right on the back. But look, all of a sudden those tyres look like they've absolutely shot themselves. And now Tionis has just gained away through the first sector. It seems like Mashiro's backbone is in the middle and the final sectors because he catches again.
Yeah, it looks like he's really struggling to keep through in turns 2 and 3, but he closes up drastically down towards the hairpin and it just gets him close to Tionis on the first DRS straight, then he closes up again. into the chicane as TTGaming is all over the back of Scuba, so we may be seeing the race lead change orders. I say just getting a little bit of wheel spin, so maybe not this time. We've got F1 AMG, who is close in the back with J. Cole.
Has it got enough running?
Not close enough. Not close enough.
Yeah, not close enough at all. Yellow flag in sector 1 and 2. Ignore that because it's just another glitch. Scuba leading the way. 3.5 laps to go. Oh, F1MG has a little bit of a moment as we ride on board there with Jekyll 4th and 5th. But Scuba leading the way. Scuba is defending, honestly, for his life. Like it depends on it here out on track. Tionis in second, Mashiro in third. Scuba is going to try and make a namesake for himself, I think, in Division 2, especially going towards next season. Whether he's in that division or not, you have to find out, of course, at TTML_F1 on Twitter. All the descriptions, everything is in the comments, is in the description below on the stream as well. But Scuba leading the way. Again, it just seems like Scuba's tyres coming back into play slightly. And now Tionis and Mashiro second and third. Again, yellow flag sector 1 and 2. Ignore. At your heart's content as Mashiro is now as close as he has been to Tionis. But again, just takes it easy coming out of the corner. He tries to maximise the run. Running down the straight. Now Tionis is an absolute sitting duck because Mashiro absolutely sails on by. That is a superior turn of speed from the McLaren, and now Mashiro is through, and he's into second position. And now, it's game on. Scuba, Mashiro, Tionis, 2.5 laps to go after they come through the end of the middle sector. Game on in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, and TTGaming gets onto the curb on the exit of, I believe it's turn 9, and he is on the teetering edge of that car. Just losing it from underneath him.
And with the rears especially beginning to overheat and those tyres beginning to go, are we going to see punctures possibly towards the end of this race? We've only got 2 more laps to go after this one. Scuba leading from Mashiro second, Tionis in third, J. Cole in fourth. J. Cole is 3.5 seconds off the back of Tionis. Mashiro in turn is about 4.1, 4.2 ahead. As I said to Tom about a couple of laps ago, if you've got a top 3 graphic, ignore it, because J. Cole possibly could get Mashiro at least for P3 out on track. He could even get Tionis for P2. Scuba, though, still leading the way.
Tionis is playing with fire right now with these curves.
Those tyres have got to be going surely now.
He's struggling every single time he touches the curb. The back end just snaps from him. He's doing incredibly well just to keep it in a straight line, but you can just see he's really struggling every single curb that he touches.
Mashiro's going to wait on the back of Scuba. He might have the run on him down in towards turn 8. And he's going to wait in behind. No ERS usage there from Mashiro at all running down the straight. But now I think he's going to have a go down in towards turn 11. He's going to try and use up a bit of overtake mode to get back onto the back of Scuba. But again, Scuba just pulls away. Mashiro second, Tionis in third. And they remain as they are with 1.5 laps to go. This was a season finale. If this was a championship battle right to the end, we'll be seeing it right here, right now, because Mashiro is now on the front foot, trying to get Scuba, the Irishman against the Japaneseman, against the Norwegian, 3 nationalities, 1 goal, and that's to win the race here in Abu Dhabi with 1.5 laps to go.
Yep, and crucial for TTGaming right now, J. Cole is just within that 3-second window.
And he's now 2.7. 2.6, gaining every single corner. Now out on track, and the fresher tyres are coming into play. Final lap of the race has now started here in Abu Dhabi, and Scuba is leading the way. Can he dive his way into P1 out on track? That's a really bad pun, I know. Scuba leading the way. Mashiro in second. Tionis in third. But through the first sector, Scuba pulls out 8 tenths. Now 6 tenths. Mashiro has now got to latch onto the front foot once again. He's got to make sure this McLaren has now got to have that pace like it's never shown before in this race, with basically 3/4 of a lap to go around a 5.5 kilometre circle. Mashiro closes in, but it's not going to be close enough. F1AMG's closing up on the back of J. Cole. I don't think he's going to dive it down the inside, though, and behind. Mashiro, though, 3 tenths, 4 tenths now. Scuba, he's got enough running into the final sector to have this one, I think. F1AMG, though, is now going to try and spoil the party on J. Cole. These two are going to go side by side, running down in towards turn 11, and F1AMG is through, and he's up into 4th position. Great move there by the Ferrari. He is through, and he's up into 4th. Mashiro really wants this as well. Scuba is hanging on for grim life. Those tyres are probably hanging on for grim life at this stage, but with just with half a lap to go, Sway on the back of Callboy as well. The two Red Bulls are fighting further down the field. Mashiro, though, right on the back of Scuba. Can he try and get him through the final couple of corners? I don't think they will. Scuba, though, Mashiro could have one more chance into the final corner. He doesn't. Scuba ran the final corner. The Irishman wins in Abu Dhabi. Mashiro, with that 5-second penalty, gets an unserved, and J. Cole finishes 1600th of a second off Tionas for 2nd position. Absolutely unbelievable. Mashiro in 4th. F1AMG's crash coming across the line. F1AMG has crashed coming across the line, and that now means Johansson 7th.
Yeah, it looked like F1AMG may have either lost it into the wall at turn... Just get the track map up there real quick, turn 19. Or maybe possibly a little bit of contact between him and J. Cole, but unfortunately F1AMG...
I'm just watching the two Red Bulls here, swaying Callboy. They haven't got anyone else around them. Alonso, by the way, has already came across the line out on track. And these two are now just having a little bit of a demolition derby, I think is what we can describe this as now, out on track. They're going to do synchronised donuts. They might have not won the Constructors. McLaren, though, have, with Matt Tibos being out of the race, with Jay Collins, but Demis still scoring good points. Mashiro's there, though, in 4th. And I believe McLaren have won the Constructors' Championship. Callboy across the line to finish in 9th. And Sway will now come across the line to finish in 10th. That is the race over. Alonso is still going out on track, according to us. Scuba, though, wins from Tionas in 2nd and J. Cole in 3rd. J. Cole, you have to feel sorry for, 1600th of a second off the back. And Mashiro in 4th position. But Mashiro, if that 5-second penalty gets removed, he will finish 2 tenths behind Scuba in 2nd.
Yep, and for J. Cole, that battle, F1AMG just getting ahead of him on the run into the final sector, that cost him the opportunity of getting a podium, but it's not all doom and gloom for J. Cole, because I believe he has jumped ahead of XL Gary in the standings.
That'll be interesting if we can confirm that. That'll be really interesting.
Points.
That'll mean, yeah, 11 points. So J. Cole scored, what, 22? Yeah, there you are. So J. Cole, I think, has taken 4th in the championship now.
Yep.
Oh, hang on. What was the gap to Seb, actually, between J. Cole and... Seb 172, J. Cole 143, 22. No, yeah. So J. Cole gets 4th in the standings, Seb 3rd, even with him not attending.
Tionas gets 6th ahead of Matt Tibos, who unfortunately didn't see the checkered flag here today. Alonso, I believe, I can't quite remember where Alonso was crossing the line. I believe he was ahead as Redeemer.
Yeah. Whether he had penalties or not is a different thing. It doesn't show it on our screen. That, though, eventually, time remaining on 001. I hope I'm going to get to the end of the stream like this. Scuba wins, Jonas in 2nd and J. Cole in 3rd. Alonso has glitched everything, and it's also showing us Ryan and everyone being back in the race.
Yeah, they're all in the pits.
Alonso's still driving round. Alonso is under his own power and he's still driving round. This is mad. I wonder now, actually, because he's coming across the line this lap around, this should be it. I hope it is anyways. Alonso around the final corner. No! Oh, he's still got another lap to do! I don't believe it! Oh, please end it here. Oh my goodness me.
Now he's stuck behind Sway going 2 miles an hour.
We're never going to get an end of the stream here. Scuba, Jonas, Jekyll, he's finally got round Sway's AI car. And we can only commentate on what we're seeing, to be honest. He has came across the line.
I could have a look at the constructors, see if there's any like changes in the constructors.
If you wouldn't mind.
I believe Williams have
oh, there we are.
to...
He's left the session, and there we are. Goodness me, he's finally left the session, and now we're finally gonna get to the end of the sun. Even this is not gonna work now, I don't think. There we are, at last. It is, though, your top 3. Currently out on track. It is that man there who wins. It is Scuba who takes it from Jonas in second and Jekyll on the podium in third. Absolute madness. We've only taken about 5 minutes to get here. I wonder how long it'll take for the race order to come up.
I dread to think. But Williams did get 4th in the constructors. I did just clock that. And Ferrari jumped AlphaTauri for 9th.
Brilliant for Williams going forward. Goodness me. What was with the full yellows after the safety car, says Scuba in the chat? I don't know. I really don't know. It was coming up on the driver's end as well, which we can clarify. Scuba, though, wins in probably one of the longest races I think we've ever seen on the yellow flags. Jonas in second, Jekyll in third, Mashiro in fourth. That penalty might get removed, so he'll be behind behind Scuba, sorry, if that's the case. But Emma in fifth, Ace Noisy in sixth, Johansson in seventh. Just Chris's AI has finished in eighth, apparently, but he won't pick up the points. Callboy, Sway, F1 AMG, Alonso, Caladre, Matt Dibos, Missile, Ryan, all out of the race further down the field. 12 finishers in the end. Everyone's saying this game is trash, all the glitches. Yeah. We feel for you.
Ready. Esports ready.
Esports ready. And we want a quick turnaround next week? Well, we might have to change our mind on that, but finally we get back into the lobby, and oh my goodness me, probably one of the most stressful commentaries I think I can remember of what we've done there with all the yellow flags. I really hope you've enjoyed it tonight, and we've provided you with that normality, of course, out on track. Matt Tibos saying lobby is massively glitched, yellow and green flags every 5 seconds. Of course, you can follow the league on Twitter at TTML_F1. You can follow me on Twitter as well at B52Head. And I will be your head commentator next season as well for TTML, which I'm really, really looking forward to. In his TTML days. We, I think, are building a real good product here at TTML, and we want to continue that with the commentary. You'll be seeing old faces and new next season, and it's going to be fascinating as we start off, of course, next week for Division 2 on the 21st of January. So mark that date in your calendars. It's the Australian Grand Prix next week, Bahrain and then Spain, and we've got a brand new system which Dan and Michael Edwards will be taking you through Division 2 next season. I can reveal that now that the cat is out the bag. A great legendary commentating duo from Division 2 for next season. And I hang up my commentating headset for a Thursday night, I'm afraid. Which is a shame.
But we can get one more final round of podium interviews.
We can indeed. Let's get them in. Let's get them in and see what they made of that absolute... Can we swear on stream? I don't think we can we?
Scuba has just said that he cannot join, which is unfortunate. So we won't have our race winner in.
I think we'll get Jonas and Jekyll in. I'll be pretty certain if they're still in the lobby here, so I would imagine we'll get both of them in for lobby interviews, and hopefully we'll get them in, as I say, very soon indeed. As I say, you can follow the league on Twitter. You can also follow League Racing TV on Twitter, of course, at League Racing TV, if you didn't know already. That is just quite common, I think. As we see, I'll show you, actually. We should have a graphic up that shows you the lineup for next season. So Daniel Hoggard and Michael Edwards are taking you through Division 2 and Division 3. And he'll be taking you through the action for Division 5 next week. And indeed for next season. Saturday is vacant. That's the only day I don't think we race on here. But then Sunday, it's TTML F2. And it is Aidan Carter and TFB Buck who are going to be taking you through that. And then Malk returns with another new face for CWC Formula 2. Can we reveal who that is on stream? I hope.
By the way, do you want Mashiro an invite as well?
If he's got a mic, yes, we'll get him in. We'll get him in. And the new commentator for CWC, of course, Evil Dragon. Mr. Evil Dragon is going to be taking you through the action for CWC Formula 2 for next week as well. We have, though, podium interviews to do, and the man who we think has currently finished in second place, might get demoted to third if Mashiro's penalty gets taken off, is TNR Tionis. And Tionis, what was that race like there? Because our race here in the commentary box was like hell on earth with them yellow flags.
I was lucky to not be conflicted by it, I don't think. Didn't really bother me with any overtakes or any illegal overtakes or something like that, so I think I got lucky. But I saw the yellow flags, but I wasn't really focused on them.
I'm glad you weren't focused on them, because you're more focused on the drivers around you. Talk us through your race, though, and talk us through that safety car in particular, because that strategy in the end really landed you in a really positive position.
Yeah, it was good. I don't really know how the safety car affected me. I think I might lost a bit on it. I'm not really sure. I didn't get to get my pit stop on the safety car, of course, but yeah, it wasn't too bad as I just pitted a couple laps before. But through the race, I really just wanted to stay with the cars around me. I felt that Scuba had brilliant pace, Mashiro had very good pace, and Jekyll as well came up very close to the last couple of laps, so really I had to push until the end.
Yeah, really good racing out on track for you, and that battle towards the end of the race was looking really tasty, I've got to say. Mike, have we got any questions for Jonas?
Just a quick question about his setup, because it looked like he was really starting to get massive snaps of oversteer every single time he touched a curb. Was it stiff suspension, or was it just the tyres completely gone?
I think the problem was behind the wheel and not the setup of the car. I think I was a bit too aggressive on the power, and that might just slid me out a couple of times, but it wasn't too bad, or it didn't feel too bad, so yeah, I was happy to get the soft medium strategy to the end, because the tires were looking kind of ropey towards the end.
What percentage tyre wear were you on at the end?
I'm not really sure. I saw that it was above 60% a couple laps before the end, so I think it was the worst tire was probably like 72, I would guess.
Which is actually not too bad, because I thought it was going to be like 80%, like in that region.
Yeah, it could have been. I tested a strategy yesterday with Isotopic when he did the soft medium softs and I did the soft mediums, and I found it to be the quicker strategy, so that was what I went for today.
We'd be glad to know that Isotopic did get crowned champion as well in Division 3.
Yeah, I'm very happy about it. I was with him in the voice chat, so I have to send some big congratulations to him with the championship, and my TNR teammate, the Steph, with the win, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, really good race in Division 3 as well. We, though, look forward to next week. Yeah, quick turnaround for race 1 of the new season for Season 3 of TTML Division 2. And How do you think you're going to get on next season?
I think I'm currently standing as a reserve, but I've told Mace that I'm up for a full spot if there's space, so we'll see. I haven't really gotten around to think about next season yet. Was planning on having wasn't planning on having a break, but wanted to finish this season before I started thinking about next, and hopefully I can build up the consistency a bit earlier this season, and maybe go for the podium in the drivers. That would be very nice.
It'll be fantastic to see you on the grid next season. Of course, I won't be here next season for Division 2. Yeah, Mr. Hoggard and Mr. Michael Edwards are going to be taking you through next season for Division 2. But we'll move on to J. Cole, and J. Cole finishing in P3 might get demoted to P4 if Mashiro's penalty gets removed. J. Cole, talk us through your race.
Well, it was a bit interesting to start off with. I think I ended up dropping down into like P8, P9. I think I had a bit of a collision with, is it Caladra? I don't know if I said that right or not, but yeah, a little bit of a collision with him in like turn 2. Yeah, dropped down to P9 where I was fighting with Callboy and F1 AMG. I think I think there must have been a bit of a collision with Callboy and AMG because I think he spun in front of us. But yeah, literally when the second safety car came out, I could see that I had maybe a bit more of a chance when I was seeing a load of penalties going out. I think it was because of the lobby glitch. Luckily, didn't get affected by it. But yeah, I mean, just that last lap, I think that was a real killer for me. I think where F1 AMG had that spin through the hotel section, if he didn't have the spin, then it would have been fair play. I had to ease off ever so slightly, which I think gave, to be honest, that edge for it. But I suppose it is what it is. But you know what? Third, it was a lot better than what I was expecting, so I'll take it.
Yeah, third, definitely a really good result from your end. And talk us through that safety car, because that safety car really came out of the blue, I think. Just talk us through how that affected you and your strategy going forward.
Well, luckily I was doing a 2-stop anyway. I think I pit on lap 4, the same as Ryan. Was behind that incident with Missile and Ryan as well. But yeah, pit lap 4 to go on a set of mediums. Was going to pit again for another set of mediums anyway. And I think the safety car really sort of played into my hands a bit more. It was just a bit lucky that the guys that are up ahead of me had already pit a couple laps before, so it just kind of gave me a bit more of an advantage on it. But yeah, as I said, I feel like it probably helped me to get third. Well, so far third, probably demoted to 4th in that race.
Yeah, not too bad at all, I think, from your perspective. Mike, have you got any questions for the legend?
I was going to say about the F1 AM. So that one. I don't know what happened, but that train that you was in after the safety car with Cowboy was going long on his first set of on his spin to mediums. How tough was it to try and pick your way through that particular pack?
Well, because I was actually behind Zadamar as well, so he was trying to coordinate it so that I could get past him and get past Cowboy without dropping any places, and it was a task, but I think I just kind of got a bit lucky with it. I think Caladre ended up going into the back of me, but luckily I didn't end up going into the back of Zadama, so I kind of got away with it. So to be fair, I'll take it. I ended up just managing to just keep a bit more preserved. I probably could have gotten past a little bit earlier, but then I was seeing that the amount of glitches, like the yellow flags kept on coming out, which just kind of didn't allow me to go for any sort of moves. So I suppose that was one factor in it, but again, it is what it is.
And another thing, you're going to be bragging to your XL teammate Gary because you've overtaken him once again in the championship.
Of course I'm going to be bragging to Gary. No, to be fair, he had to do an event tonight. I'm sure he probably would have still finished ahead of me anyway, but you know what? I'm not complaining. I'm 4th in the championship. I'm just happy with that.
Yeah, 4th in the championship going forward. And have you signed up for next season?
I haven't, and it's because I just wanted to take a little bit of a break, just drop a couple more leagues. So unfortunately, this was my last race for TTML for now. I probably will come back in the future if the legend himself of Maze will allow me to. But for now, I'm just gonna take a little bit of a break.
I'm sure we can bring him around to that idea for sure. And you need to get that 3rd place in the championship rather than 4th. I think it's been an absolute pleasure. I think to have you though in Division 2. It'll be really sad to not see you on the season on the grid next season. But we wish you well, and we wish, of course, Tionis well. As that is the end of the stream. I can't believe it. And that is the end, of course, for my reign here in Division 2. I get to hand over, of course, to Michael Edwards and to your lead commentator for Division 2, Daniel Hoggard, from next week. A great, formidable duo for Division 2. I'm sure you're going to be in really capable hands out on track. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to Division 2. Thank you to everyone who has made this all possible. And to Division 3, congratulations to Isotopic for winning the championship and to Steph for winning the race there. Mike, as it's our final commentary as a commentary duo here in TTML for now, why don't you give us your final thoughts?
It's been a fantastic season, and it is sad to see you go, but I know you'll do absolute wonders in Division 1 next season, and I'm excited to see what Daniel Hoggard is going to be able to bring to the table in terms of filling your shoes here in D2.
If you've heard him in Division 5, honestly, it's going to be fantastic to see. And in a league commentary role, he is excelling out on track, even though he's a member of QVR. There we are. Anyways, that is it for us tonight here in Division 2. That is a terrible pun to end us off. Yeah, next week, of course, it is all changed with Season 3, but I just want to end off my commentary stint by thanking Maze, of course, for putting all of this on this season, and obviously to all of the drivers who's made this possible, to Tionis, to J. Cole, to Mashiro, being crowned champion, of course, last week. Eventually got there. Last week, goodness me. My mind is going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, as you can probably tell. And that is it. We will end it off here. Please stay safe in this crazy world we all live in currently. For myself and Michael Edwards, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.
These are childhood dreams. It's how we used to be. When we were kings and queens in our childhood dreams. Oh, 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 oh. Our childhood dreams. Feeling, I feel so lightweight when I think back to those days. But then we went our own ways. I'm thinking about what needs to change. That we can turn back the page and live like our favorite fairy tales. So a love so freeing, a world of our fantasy. Digging up treasures and sailing across the sea. These are childhood dreams, it's how we used to be.